What's up guys, Austin back with another rowing workout video. A video series where we take a look at the Concept 2 workout of the day, or maybe one of the workouts from my ebook, Row Your Fat Off, and we dissect the workout, we figure out a way to make it super interesting, super engaging, super fun, and then we row through that workout together. So we're back yet again with another workout, but this one's actually gonna be pretty short. It's only 3,000 meters of rowing in total. We're going to be working on descending double intervals. We're talking 500, 500, 400, 400, 300, 300, 200, 200, 100, 100. So why are we doing double of these intervals? Well, it's going to give us practice. Practice at rowing at two different sort of intensities or feelings. I like to break rowing down into three different types of intensities: steady, tough, and max. When you think of a steady row, we're talking like a row that is, you're breathing, you're exercising, but you're not feeling like overwhelmed or, your heart rate's not getting super high up or anything. You're at an elevated heart rate. The effort is, it's challenging, but it's very sustainable. While a tough intensity is like, ooh, okay, this is tough. I'm starting to breathe a lot more. This is pretty challenging. It should feel uncomfortable. Whereas a max effort is exactly how it sounds. You're going as hard as you possibly can. And so for these double intervals, we're gonna row the first interval of each of these at a tough intensity, making it feel challenging, making it feel uncomfortable, and then rowing the second interval of that same distance at a maximal intensity. And the goal here is to have a very specific discrepancy between the tough and between the max intervals. Now there's a lot of ways to sort of change that tough to max intensity, but for this workout, let's work on keeping the stroke rate the same, but just generating more leg drive, more power for the max efforts compared to the tough efforts. You can think of the max efforts as having sort of more of a higher stroke efficiency because your stroke rate is going to stay the same between the tough, between the max, but you're going to be applying more power each stroke. And thus, if you're driving back faster, your recovery is going to have to be slower in order to keep the same stroke rate. That's going to take some practice, but that's going to be the challenge for today. This is post-workout me, just giving you a friendly reminder. There are no rest intervals in between each of these distances. So you're kind of just going one into the other. So remember those max efforts, the max interval, obviously you can't just die on the max because you got to get right back to that tough intensity for the next one. So it's a little bit sort of sub-max, but definitely giving that distinct difference between a tough and a max intensity. Just be aware the next interval is going to start right away and you got to get right back to it. So just do your best. Luckily, it's a quick workout, but it's a good one. But we'll change the stroke rate for each distance change. So for the 500 meter rows, 20 strokes per minute for both. The 400 meter rows, 22 strokes per minute. The 300, 24 strokes per minute. The 200, 26 strokes per minute. And then the 100, we'll try 28 strokes per minute. Now you might feel like you still want to go faster and faster. And if you want to, you can change the stroke rates a little bit. You can go higher if you like to. But that's the way I like to do the workout because it's going to help you build more discipline. And rowing disciplinedly at lower stroke rates makes it easier to row more intensely at high stroke rates. So this is definitely going to be one of the quicker workouts, but it should help you develop more stroke efficiency. It should be a quick one, in and out, get sweaty, get after it. Should be a lot of fun. So with that, guys, let's get right to the rowing. Alright guys, post-workout now, let's take a look at the results summary and see how we did for this one. Now before we look, let's remind ourselves of the goal for the workout, to have 2 distinct intervals. One tough interval, one more intense, closer to max interval. We had the 500s, the 400s, the 300s, the 200s, the 100s, no breaks in between. And the goal, as the distance gets shorter, the stroke rate is increasing, and therefore we're aiming for lower split averages throughout. Let's see how we did. Alright, so if we take a look here, on the screen, these zeros look kind of funny because it's just showing you the rest interval, which in this case was 0 rest, so it's basically just giving like a little bit of a space gap between the intervals. But we had our first tough interval up top here, about a 150 split, a little hot on the stroke rate, 21 instead of 20 for both of those. But the max interval, breaking that split down to about 2.5 splits faster. Moving down to the 400 meter rows, taking that first tough effort around a 148, second one around a 146, so another 2 split drop. And again, a little hot on the rate for the second effort. But moving our way down to, let's check out the 300 meter efforts. Let's scroll all the way down. So scrolling down to the 300 meter efforts, we can see 145.8 for the tough, 143.3, another 2.5 split drop for the max interval. The 200s, a much more significant drop that time, about a 4 split second drop between the tough and the max. Then we scroll down for the last intervals, the 100s, 141 to a 133.5, really just sort of gassing out that last effort. Definitely a lot tougher than it initially looked on paper. It's not really until the 0 rest intervals hit you that you're like, ooh, gotta stay composed, gotta stay on it. But guys, it's a short one. Total time, 10 minutes and 35 seconds. That's for me. We have to remember that everyone's gonna be at a different point in their fitness level, so some of you might do this faster, some of you might do it slower, but it's a short and sweet one. It's intense and it gets you better. You think you're gonna do this workout and get worse? Of course not. It's gonna make you a much better rower. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about this workout down in the comments below. And guys, we'll see you for the next one.